They call me crazy cause I'm facing all my giants. They try to scare me into thinking I can fight it. They tell me I should never even think of trying. But that's just me, I'm gonna live out in defiance.
What's up, fam? It's Trey, getting back to you from Japan once again. You might be thinking, dude, how did this guy set up his studio exactly the same, with the same lighting and the same haircut as the last video? But to be honest with you, I just changed my shirt. Like, it's magic, bro. Today I'm repping Ninja Turtles old school. I was always kind of a Donatello guy, but nowadays I feel myself gravitating a little bit more towards Michelangelo. I don't know what it is. There's just something magical about him. Let me know who your favorite one is in the comments below. Anyways, today I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about the attitude not to have before starting a business. Last video we talked about the things to be thinking about before you start a business. As you know, the world is on fire and it's collapsing. Stock markets had like the worst week of all time or whatever. Pandemics are killing all of our grandparents and babies, and we don't know what to do. Everybody's thinking about like, how do I get a job? What do I do? How do I start a company? I need to figure out money ever in the future. So we're talking about that. This episode, I wanted to share another one of my big failings with you and how you can avoid it. Basically, I was stuck in this mode for like years. I came to Japan, I was teaching English, as like 99.9% of North Americans do when they come to Japan for a while. I was teaching English, you know, building relationships with my students and hanging out with them and seeing them actually graduate and grow up into adults and stuff. And I, again, as I shared in the last video, started to realize that that was one of my passions. But on the side, I was always like, talking to my wife and hanging out, and I'd be like, man, I really want to start this thing. Man, I really want to start that thing. And I would stop and think about it and be like, but that's not going to be the next Facebook. That's not going to be the next Google or like Apple or like Netflix. So I guess it's kind of stupid. So I guess I'll just forget about it. And maybe tomorrow I'll come up with an idea that will be the next Google or something like that. And I guess it was kind of a perfectionist kind of thing. And it was also one of those things where it's like you're trying to jump too far too quickly. Like you haven't even figured out how to crawl yet. You're like a little nublet baby. You don't even know how to crawl, but you're trying to long jump like an Olympian or something like that. So I had this attitude of like, how do I come up with a company that can compete with the likes of the biggest companies in the world? But actually, that wasn't solving a problem. That was just like looking at the endpoint and being like, I need to be there now. And it ended up just defeating me. Some days, you know, I would run into a problem and be like, hey, I think I know how to fix this problem. Or I think I could make this frustrating situation a little bit better. Maybe if I made this product, or maybe if I made this service. My wife and I worked super long on translating a certain type of software. We translated the entire thing into Japanese and then launched it, and like nobody cared because nobody even realized that that was a problem for them yet. It was like way too early, and Reddit didn't even exist yet. It was kind of along the lines of Reddit. I'm like, I see how internet forums work really, really well in North America in English. But I don't see that much of that kind of thing in Japan. I love cameras, and so we made a forum of cameras for cameras to teach people how to use cameras, to teach people what is like aperture, what is an f-stop, what does like 50 millimeters mean on a lens. Like, does that mean I can like shoot the moon? Does that mean I can like, you know, take macro close-up pictures or whatever? So I just started teaching that stuff. Super embarrassing. I just found the videos on YouTube last week or a couple weeks ago, and I was watching them, and dude, I was just like sweating so hard because I'm so embarrassed at the videos. Anyways, back to the original point. Don't get caught up in like devil's advocating yourself into not doing anything. I've been watching a lot of YouTube coach type people, for people like me who want to start a YouTube channel, and like the number one tip that they all say is like, dude, yeah, you need to eventually learn how to use editing software and like learn how to use a camera and set up lighting and things like that. But the most important thing is to just start. Like, just grab your phone, even if it's like an original iPhone and just like, actually those couldn't even film, but you know what I'm saying. Just grab whatever and start talking and put it on the internet. And people are gonna be like, your stuff sucks. And you're gonna be like, hey guys, watch my video. I'm a new YouTuber on Reddit. And then like nobody will respond. Or they'll respond and be like, that was the most boring thing I've ever seen. Give me my 3 minutes back, sucker. One of the themes of this channel. It's important to fail, and we all need to fail to learn how to improve, you know? So, but the failure that I was doing was just getting stuck in this kind of perfectionist attitude of, I don't think I should start this because it's not going to change the world. One day I was just sitting on the tatami, laying down, looking up at the deep blue Japan sky, and it hit me. I realized, like, I just need to start a thing. I just need to drop like a couple $100 and try it. Or I'm not gonna even give myself the opportunity to learn how anything works, you know? I'm going to be putting together a video in the future detailing more about that whole process for you. Just for you. Not for that guy, just for you. But I ended up just starting, you know, and I'm like, dude, I have $200. I'm just gonna try this, you know, and I went out on a limb and it like kind of started to work. And another tricky thing was that one of my really good friends, who's always like, we went to college together and we'd do all these business projects together. I would just text him and be like, dude, I got this idea, check it out, what do you think? And thankfully, he liked to play devil's advocate with me in a good way to get my gears going, to help me improve that potential product. But I think subconsciously what ended up happening in my mind was more along the lines of like, oh yeah, that thing sucks, that factor sucks, and I don't know this skill, or I'm like scared of talking to clients or something like that, whatever it was. And those would end up becoming further barriers for me starting anything. So all that to say, you need to just start something. And you might not know your purpose of life. You might not even really know what you like to do yet. You might not know, man, I really want to spend my entire life and pour my entire heart and soul into A and B and C for the next like 60 years or whatever. You probably don't know those things yet. And actually, one of the frustrating things about society right now is that it demands that by the time you've like graduated college when you're 21 or 22, you need to know what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. Even before you get into college, they're like, yeah, what's your major going to be? It's like, dude, no like 16, 17-year-old knows. Like, obviously I'm going to be a doctor for the rest of my life and I'm going to love it. Like 1% of my friends were like that, you know? And it's super important to just try different majors. And if you don't go to college, which actually is not a bad idea nowadays, just try different jobs and suck at them. And when you suck at them and fail and like blow your head apart doing different things, you figure out like, whoa, I thought I liked making pizza because it looks so cool, or it smells great, or I love eating it. But actually being around a 550-degree oven all day kind of sucks, and I don't like it. So I'm gonna like go learn how to type and be like a secretary, and then go try that for a couple years and figure it out, you know? Just try stuff, and that's really important. But yeah, don't get caught up in the mode of like, I have to only figure out the perfect like platinum level, diamond level, ultimate business model before I put my heart and soul into it. Just give stuff a shot. Just try it, you know? Another kind of like tangential but important thing to think about is like, you go on YouTube and there's like gurus selling you programs, and there's the trendy things that go around on the internet like drop shipping from China. Much like we learn from Warren Buffett right now in the market, if you ever watch any investing or personal finance people, everybody's quoting Warren Buffett right now. Be afraid when everybody's greedy, and be greedy when everybody's afraid. And that's really good wisdom from somebody we should look up to and respect, who has a long investing pedigree. He's telling us, when everybody's like, yeah, it's awesome investing, we never lose money, dude, everybody should put all their money in it. That's like the time of market cycle when you should be like, oh snap, it's about to break. And then on the flip side, when it's like plummeting and like breaking records like we had this week, it's like, hey, things are cheaper, like way cheaper than they were a week or 2 or 3 ago. Maybe it's time to buy some stuff because it's like kind of on sale. Personally, I think things are going to go down more. I don't think they can not, actually. But yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, if everybody's doing drop shipping on Amazon, if everybody's writing a book, if everybody's trying to be a guru or trying to be like a travel vlogger or whatever, that actually makes competition really, really hard. And you have to be super good at that thing. And probably a lot of the people doing it have been doing it for like months or years if they're teaching you how to do it. So be careful on that. Just try something that's like kind of weird or kind of like random, maybe even, you know? And I met a guy who was I met this guy, he came over with my friends one time to our house. He actually lives in America, but they came to Japan. And I'm like, hey man, what do you do? And he's like, whatever I want. I'm like, cool, nice conversation, bro. But we were stuck in my car because we were going to go buy something or something like that. And turns out he made a really basic, simple, like Pokemon style game. And they have like a couple thousand users, but they just love this game. And you can like breed the animals, and then occasionally like a new really rare animal will come out. And the more animals you have, the more you have to pay actual money to buy food to feed all of them. But if you get a really rare one, you can like sell it to the even more hardcore guys for like $1,000 or $10,000 or whatever. And they're like, dude, I got that ultra rare like Liger thing or whatever. And so it's kind of like a fun business kind of thing. But this guy's just like, yep, everybody's paying me $1 a day for all of their animals. And some of these guys have like 1,000 animals, but they don't mind paying $1,000 because they're cranking out Ligers all the time and selling them for like $10,000. And that was like the most random niche-y thing. And apparently it like doesn't even have like graphics or something like that. Like when I'm playing video games, I'm playing like Overwatch and Smash Brothers, like pretty pleasant looking games, you know? I didn't even consider the fact that nowadays in 2020 there are still games that are just text-based. That was kind of a thing when I was like little, but this guy makes an extremely wealthy, high-level income from a text-based game, and he only has like a couple thousand users. Like, you can just do random weird things that you would assume would fail for sure, you know, but that's part of the necessity. That's why we need to just keep trying new stuff and giving things a shot. That being said, I think it's important to also like keep a journal, also keep notes of like the things you've learned and the grand failings that you've accomplished, because you're gonna fail a lot. And everybody knows that the Colonel Sanders from KFC, it was like his 90,000th recipe making this chicken, and then finally the people who eat chicken and grate it were like, okay, yeah, this is the one. Let's make a huge KFC chain across the world or something. I don't really get how that works, but it took him 90,000 tries or however many tries to finally get the right recipe, you know. But he was probably taking notes every time he made it and said, I'm going to change the amount of salt by like 1 gram, or I'm going to change the amount of turmeric by 3 grams, or whatever it is, you know. It's important to take notes so you're not just like failing blindly and killing yourself and leaving a wake of destruction in your path. You can be like, wow, I really jacked that up because I did A, B, and C, or because my mindset was wrong for X, Y, and Z. So yeah, that's today, man. Let me know who's your Ninja Turtle. Let me know how this video sucked. Let me know how I can improve. And also, let me know what steps you're going to be taking to figure out your next stream of income, to figure out your next side hustle, to figure out your next career, or an idea that you have. Let me know. Stay in touch. Thank you guys very much. That subscribe button and that like button. Thank you guys very much. Talk to you soon.